Hi everyone, today's science tutorial is on Gregor Mendel and the work he did as a scientist on genetics. He was alive between 1822 and 1884, and the work he did around that time is important for our knowledge of genetics today. So we have quite a good understanding of how genes work and how inheritance occurs. So we can give a good explanation of why we might look like our parents or our children or our brothers or our sisters. And this comes down to our DNA and the genes within our DNA. And we look like our parents because we inherit genes from them. Now, at the time of Gregor Mendel's work, he didn't have any of this knowledge. We didn't have the term gene yet. We didn't know about alleles, but he did make some quite interesting observations. So Mendel worked in a monastery garden, and he noticed that many of the characteristics of pea plants were either absent or present. So when he looked at the pea plants, they were either green or yellow. They weren't a colour in between, and they were either tall or short. So they weren't just a medium-sized height. So he said that they were never a blend. So Mendel looked to try and develop some rules around this and try to work out how inheritance worked. So what he did quite a famous experiment with pea plants. And he used a paintbrush to move the pollen, which is the male gamete. So like in humans, we have sperm for the male gamete. In this case, for plants, we have pollen. So he moved pollen from one plant onto the flower of another plant so that it would undergo sexual reproduction. He then placed a bag over the top of the plant and the flower on the plant and sealed it. And that was so that we didn't get any cross-contamination from any other pollen at the time. So all he had was the seeds that were produced from the pollen he had brushed onto the flower. Mendel then planted the seeds that were formed, and then he looked at the characteristics of those offspring. So if we, in this slide here, I've just shown you a couple of Punnett squares. And if we look here, this is the cross he did. So he had the male gamete, which was from a tall plant, and he had the female gamete, which was from a shorter plant. And he crossed them together with sexual reproduction, and he looked at the offspring from the plant. And what he observed from that cross were that all the offspring were tall. So if we look here into this Punnett square, which we now have a good understanding of, but he wouldn't have added at the time, we know that the tall plant must have been homozygous big T, and the small plant must have been homozygous little t. So when you do the cross for that, you end up with heterozygous dominant, so that all the plants would have been tall plants. He then took two of those plants and crossed them together. And when he did that, he found that some were tall and some were shorter. And if we now apply a Punnett square to that scenario, we know that these heterozygous plants, when crossed together, will give 3 of the 4, or 75%, having the gene for tall, and then 1 homozygous short here. So even though he didn't have this knowledge of genes and alleles at the time, we can now apply that knowledge and explain his findings. So what Mendel concluded at the time was that inherited factors control characteristics. Now that might not seem very fascinating right now, but at the time that was very interesting. He said that factors exist in various versions, which we would now call them alleles, so a different version of the same gene. He also said that a plant has 2 factors for each characteristic. Again, this is the 2 alleles that we now know exist for each gene. He summarised his work in 3 laws of inheritance. He said each gamete receives only 1 factor for a characteristic. The version of a factor that a gamete receives is random and does not depend on other factors in the gamete. And he also said some versions of a factor are more powerful than others and always have an effect in the offspring. We would now know that that is to do with dominant and recessive alleles. Unfortunately, Mendel's work was largely ignored at the time because at the time it couldn't explain variations such as human eye colour, which has a number of different colours, and it also didn't support Darwin's theory of natural selection. And only when chromosomes were discovered did people start to believe in the 1900s about Mendel's work. So in 1880, the chromosomes were discovered and scientists started to believe his work, and his ideas were generally accepted in the 1900s after his death. And the word gene was first used in 1909. This image here just shows the human chromosomes, 23 pairs of chromosomes, and here is the X and Y chromosome, which are the gametes. So if you want to have a go at these questions here, you can pause the video now and have a go at the questions. And then here are the answers to go along with that.